Welcome back, friend. Today I want to make a video about HEX and the ongoing SEC Fud. So, a quick summary. What's been happening is the SEC is going after promoters and they have issued the subpoena to HEX promoters. So basically anyone on YouTube with HEX in their tag name, people who have been in there like since day one, the streamers, they have been subpoenaed, and all it means is it's basically the SEC says, hey, you guys are making a lot of noise and we've had some claims against you. Some people are whinging and you're making a lot of noise. You're promoting something. We now want to discover all your wallets, your addresses, your bank accounts, and we want to see what's going on behind the scenes. Because no one's ever seen cryptocurrency before, this type of event is never really, there's no precedent for it, you know? They think it's a precedent with stocks, and that does happen in crypto as well. But with crypto, you have elements of a commodity, and you can actually see on the blockchain who got paid and who didn't, right? So this introduces some new questions to ask. What constitutes promoting? Because if you buy something and it goes down, you lose, right? You know, so this SEC FUD that's been going on, what's been happening is they just want to check all the wallets, all the bank accounts of all the HEX promoters. I'm pretty sure the SEC, they see Richard Hart's marketing, Outrage marketing, and now they want to obviously target someone. They're going after them to see if anyone's getting paid under the table. So they've actually been doing this recently as well. So this video here from me, Kevin, is pretty good. It goes through all the different claims of the what happened with Atlas Trading. Atlas Trading were a group of guys on YouTube and Twitter, and they were basically pumping and dumping stocks, but they made like trading groups, and it's very nefarious. So if you look at Insight here, you'll be able to see where they're coming from and what they're looking for HEX. And we're gonna eventually conclude everything should be okay, right? Because there's no dirt unless someone's getting paid under the table, right? So with Atlas Trading, you can see these highlighted points, right? So the top one, you can see it here. I'll get the highlighter. This top part is, they were publishing false, misleading information in online stock forums. So what it doesn't include here as well, they went to Discord, Twitter, they grabbed all their social media, everything, right? Now, here comes the unethical part, right? They did not disclose their intent to sell the stock. So these guys were saying, hey, I'm going to buy this stock at $2. My target's $10. And what ended up happening was, if you read down, the defendants provided each other with an opportunity to purchase shares at lower prior to the manipulation. So what ended up happening was these guys say, yeah, man, we're long and our target's $10. We've bought it too. But what actually ends up happening is the guys end up selling immediately. They end up selling immediately. And this obviously is very, very unethical because everything got tracked. So there were people that were in this Atlas Trading group. They were even pretending to take losses. So they would say, hey, I bought at $2.50 and now I'm selling at like $2.30, right? But really the guy made money. He just didn't tell the group. He pretended that he bought with everyone else. Maybe he bought it at like $1.50, He goes, yeah, he bought in at $1.50. And then at $2, he says, hey, this thing's going to $10. So everyone buys it up to $2.50. And then he sells it for a profit. But he goes, oh, I got in at $2.50 with you guys. So this is the type of nefarious actions that the SEC wants to squash, which is completely fair by me, man. If you can find people to do this, man, 90% of the crypto industry is guilty. I'm not gonna name names, but there are so many people who Zach XBT caught. Oh my god, Everyone's guilty of this. But you kind of question, man, like, does that mean anytime you ever say a word and then you sell, you're not allowed to sell, right? You got to think, are you allowed to sell now? Or you have to tell everyone, hey, I'm going to sell. So obviously, but like, to give them some leeway, these guys, obviously, they did it on such a bad level, on such a giant scale, so now they're going to get the full weight of the law. So where does HEX come in from here? So with HEX, there's a discovery phase, right? So discovery phase. So in the discovery phase, they want to see, one, obviously I don't speak for the SEC, but I'm just assuming, right? They want to see, where did everyone buy their HEX? And two, what price? Three, did they sell after they promoted? Right? Four, did Richard Hart or anyone else send their crypto wallets or bank accounts any money for promotion? This is what I think is the heart of the issue. This is what I actually think they're checking, right? Let's get this here, right? That's what I feel they're actually doing. So, point number one, where did everyone buy their HEX? Did they get it through a secret ICO? Was there some sort of hidden deal, right? Now, we all know it all got done from the adoption amplifier because you can verify it on chain. But obviously, the SEC come in and they see all these people whinging and they're like, well, we don't have all the time to go verify this, because remember, in crypto, so don't be scared of this. In crypto, there are facts that most people don't know because they haven't put in the effort, yeah? If you hang around in Telegram, in Twitter, and you ask people questions, you will find that information 95% of people don't know. So you have an edge. This gives you conviction to hold, right? So number two, what price did they get in? People want to know, Were people lying and promoting nefarious stuff? Was it given to them for free? How did they get this? Their ownings, do they even own it? They don't even know. Like, do they even own the coin? Do they even own HEX? That's probably what they're checking, right? They're like, oh, you're talking about it so much. You're telling everyone to stake. Do you even own it? Number three, did they sell after they promoted? This is another thing they want to check for, right? Just like those Atlas trading guys. Oh, it's going to $30,000. And they immediately dump, right? By the way, I don't know if that's illegal, to be honest. I don't know if that is illegal because then everyone's going to jail, Like you go if you go ask a real estate agent on television, what do you think the housing market's going to do? Oh yeah, it's going to go up. And then you go check his records and then he sells in the next 12 months. What are you going to do? Go put him in jail? Everyone's guilty. Everyone is guilty, right? Real estate agents, Jim Cramer, all these people, they're all guilty. They're all guilty, So if Jim Cramer says, oh, don't buy now, but then he does a DCA buy, you're right. He's basically he's making you miss out on opportunity. It's the same thing, man. It's the same thing. So, but obviously, like the law, they're not stupid. They want to see all of these put together, So if you pick apart every single issue, you can get a lawyer to argue each way. But we continue. So, and point number four. This is probably the most important point. Did Richard Hart or anyone else send these guys in their crypto wallets or bank accounts any money for promotion, right? Why I say it's important, even if someone did, right? Like, I'll tell you right now, let's say I was in a coin. Let's say I was in Ethereum, yeah? No, let's say I was in Bitcoin. Let's say I was in Bitcoin and I had 10,000 Bitcoin, right? You think I wouldn't pay influencers on YouTube? You think I wouldn't sponsor some politicians? Of course you would. It pumps your bags. And where am I learning this playbook from? They already do this, man. Who do you think shills all the artworks in the world? The people who own the artwork, they go tell it to museums, they get it to teach it in schools and stuff. This stuff's been going on for a long time, So, but like I said, you want to look at everything all together. Everything all together. You can't just look at one issue and go, well, let's punish someone. So when you look at all of these issues together, point 1 to 4, they want to know what the hell is going on. Because here's the most important part, man. We haven't seen something like crypto before. We haven't seen something like crypto before. And why haven't we seen something like crypto before? The issue is because crypto, the code means everything you own is technically a commodity. You can't make more of it. You know, it's written by code. You can't make more of a supply of whatever it is. So it doesn't mean like you can't do anything illegal. Of course you can, but this changes a lot of stuff, because normally all these paid promotion stuff and these stock market dudes, these guys can dilute shares, hand out stuff early. It's like the ICO scams at the start, right? But remember, the industry's moving forward, man. So, you know, as time goes on, we're going to shine a torch and see all the bad stuff that's going on, right? So this is the discovery phase that the SEC wants to go through. And there's actually been a new development, right, which is just released by one of the hexagons. So the SEC has now asked Twitter for 50 to 60 hex influencers information. Most of them are just mum and dad's at home with kids, or working a construction job, and they have like 500 followers on Twitter. So nothing. They're going after very, very, very small amount of people. Like they're going after like what are you doing here? To me, right? I'm not, just my judgment, just my guesswork, speculation. I believe this is kind of a moment they're like reaching a bit. So like, let's say I was in law enforcement and I tried to take on 10 promoters and none of them are talking, and I check their wallets and I'm like, damn, these guys are actually legit delusional. They're actually staked for 15 years, you know? They're actually staked out and they actually have been DCA buying and they have been promoting and they didn't get paid anywhere, and I can see on the chain that they bought early. If you can see that, you're like, oh crap, well we got no information. Let's go check these other 50 people, right? Just like Atlas Trading. Because Atlas Trading, I forgot how many people there were, but I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7. There's like a group of them, right? So now that's what the SEC is doing. So they're asking Twitter, hey, we need the information of all these people. If you see the people they're going after, like it's like, what are you doing, man? Like it's I don't want to use the word pathetic, but it's a bit, yeah, like you're clutching on straws here, man. Like, you know, but I understand from their perspective. They're like, look, let's get this over and done with now, because we can't go back in a couple of years and do this, right? So I understand where they're coming from. They're like, let's just grab all information. Let's see, is there a big hidden network? Are there people speaking with each other, right? Now, we all know how the game works. We know crypto. We know everyone gets excited. We know the price is very volatile. We know there's sharks everywhere, right? So we know the game, but there's no laws for this yet. It's such a gray area, man. Like, it's so hard to really stamp your foot on this, because we know 99% of cryptos, they're trash, you know. And by the way, I would just like to add, if you were to put like a water pistol to my head, I would say, honestly, the difference between a good crypto project and a bad crypto project, right? Or a successful versus a scam, the difference is the successful one has people who are diehards, willing to die on the hill, who keep promoting it. That's actually what makes it successful. Look what Michael Saylor does for Bitcoin, right? He's going out there, he's got a $3 billion loss, and now he's even trying to take down Ethereum. That's his like love for it, right? That is like a successful coin. You know Bitcoin's going to be around in 10 years. I don't know its price. It might not be $2-3 million. Maybe it's only 500K. Who knows? But you kind of shed the light on that. And then someone else can make like a product, an application that no one uses because it gets forked in 5 seconds by someone else. And the price goes minus 99%. So there's no one willing to die on the hill, you know? So this is a very gray area, guys. It's very hard. It's like the bigger the promotion, the more longevity. That actually means you're more legit, you know? It's the same in businesses and stocks. It's the exact same, right? Think about it. If you're a CEO of a company and you aren't spending on marketing and like increasing the client base and increasing your customer base, they may as well just throw you in jail, because you have like a fiduciary responsibility to make money for your company. And if you're not doing everything and they can prove, hey man, you're not doing any marketing, you're not getting the name out there, you know? What's the CEO gonna say? Oh, that's scammy if I go and beg and I market on motorways and stuff, you know? So this is a very, very great area. But this is why, my final point, friends, okay? This is why HEX has gone up 105x since day one. So what we consider, so this is very important, all right? And now this is the critical part of the issue. What we consider a scam today will be common behavior in the future and seen as normal. In fact, it won't even have any edge. And this is actually the sad part. Alright? This is actually the sad part. So please, you have to read this again with me. What we consider a scam today. So I'm going to elaborate. What we consider a scam today, marketing tactics, promotion, what we consider associated with the scam, you know, and many normies say, oh, HEX looks like a scam because it's got these API stuff. So what we consider a scam in the future will be common behavior and it will be seen as normal. In fact, it won't even have any edge. I have been in markets for over 10 years trading. I have seen the cycle of something goes from unknown in the shadows to a bit of light, 20% spotlight, 50%. Then it hits like peak maximum exposure. Then everyone starts doing it. And now, when everyone starts doing that type of behavior, that type of straight trading strategy, marketing strategy, gimmick, things going viral, all that stuff, when too many people now know about it, it's like blurred, you know? It's like when you literally go to a park and you don't see blades of grass. You just see green, you know? You can't see that, you know, that grass, that little like blade of grass, like, you know, 7.5 meters out to your right. You can't see that. It just looks like just green everywhere. That's what is going to happen with this. And this is why we are early to crypto, because we are, and you know what's crazy? This is the craziest part. You know, in crypto, how there's like there's like a, you know, stochastic or an RSI oscillator. You know, it goes, oh, too high, oh, too cheap, oh, too high, right? You can draw this same shape for marketing tactics, right? So if you had outrage marketing, so this is something cool I'm going to show you. If you had outrage marketing effectiveness, yeah? Let's just do one example, right? Just outrage marketing effectiveness. So if it was a scale, right? It went from not effective years ago. Now, I swear, it is like, now that Richard Hart's doing it, it's like getting up there, man. It's like getting up there. Like, this thing is about to peak. It's about to peak. And we're probably going to see outrage marketing, I believe, be used by too many people. There's even a Simpsons episode where Bart, he just like doesn't care about everything, and everyone's like, yeah, I do what I want, right? And then everyone in the town in Springfield starts copying Bart. Like, yeah, everybody be like the kid, like screw everything, don't worry about everything. And then no one starts caring. And then it becomes like everyone's a loser. You know what I mean? And then the people who start caring, there's like more value added to society. So this is probably what we're going to see with outrage marketing effectiveness, right? So we're investing through like the, you know, it really is a space-time continuum. Nothing is static. Everything is always changing, right? We are probably, I'm not joking, man. We are somewhere, let's get this little arrow up. I swear, man, this outrage marketing, we know we're near the top. We know we're near the top. Not just with him, but with everyone, right? You know, like Elon Musk and Kanye and Kim Kardashian, all this stuff. Like, how much outrage can you possibly do, right? They've shown genitals. They've shown, like, they've told stories about their families. Oh, someone's cheating on someone. Here's a confession. Oh, I'm going to say something that, you know, that liberals don't like or Republicans don't like. Like, it's just, it's getting extreme now. It's getting really so polarizing that basically people on the extremes, they're getting larger in size because people love to follow trends, right? It's either, are you team blue or team red? So their teams are getting larger. They used to be like, you know, 5%. They used to be literally an extreme for a reason. Now they have like 30% each side. So what's happening now? Like, now the cool place to be is the middle. It's actually going to be the middle again. And we're probably going to start entering a phase where outrage marketing and what we see as all these like outlandish marketing tactics and stuff, they're going to start to drift down and down and down, lose their effectiveness. And you know what's going to happen? I mark my words. We're going to see someone who's not that relevant in society and losing relevancy. They're going to try this outrage marketing stuff, right? Now, obviously, I don't know who. It's probably going to be shown as like, one of those like actors that we used to respect and like, oh man, this guy looks like a loser now, you know, or guy or a girl, you know, guy or a girl, they're gonna start doing it. And once they start doing this outrage stuff and Instagram influencers start trying to do this, it's gonna look like really pathetic. That's when you know we've peaked. But right now, remember, me, I'm like an oracle. I'm a prophet. I can see this stuff happening. Because why? Not because I'm smart. I'm literally just here 18 hours a day, man. I'm here 18 hours a day. I can see every single thing turn. Every rotation of the sun for the days. Every shadow gets cast. I can see it turning, right? So, now, we understand everything's on a cycle. Everything's really on this continuum of time. And nothing's really static. So, the SEC is trying to figure out all this, right? So, they're probably looking at these hexagons and they're thinking, how are these guys also delusional? You know? So, I mean, in court, you could say, well, what's the difference between us and Bitcoiners? Or Ethereum guys, you know? Or XRP, or Cardano, or Tesla people, right? Just because you promote and you love something, like there's got to be more grounds for it. So, this is where we finally see, since day one, HEX is still up 105x, all right? I know there are ETH maxis still defending project founders who rugged their coin and turn a blind eye to them only because they deployed on ETH and helped boost its network effect. So, I'm not targeting Ethereum because this is just human nature, right? This is just human nature. Like, everyone's got a network effect, you know? It's kind of like when America goes to war, maybe someone does something a bit illegal and never makes it to the media, but the army men are like, you know, people in the Navy and or people on the ground, they're like, look, man, what this person did was probably a bit illegal if mainstream media, Homeland finds out, but he was defending our country, you know? Maybe he had to kill that village, you know? Maybe there's this happens in war. This happens in everything in life. This is humans, man. It's just human nature. Once someone is part of your tribe and they're in and they've given you like 10 equity points, part of your tribe, it takes a lot for you to shun them. Like a lot. As long as they've still got their foot in your tribe, it takes a lot, man. You know? So, this is just something that we just have to be completely aware of, right? So, there are coins, right? They're not up 105x since day one. By the way, yeah, since you bought this on the start, literally on day one, and to today, still 105x. Alright? So, and what are we at the top? You are at 1,870x, you know? So, that's actually a giant number, right? But, even today, it's still up 100x. So, we have to take some perspective, right? This HEX SEC Fud, I don't know, man. From this point, you really like textbook. It's just textbook. At some point, you look at this big fat arrow, right? And I want we're not going to put on the hindsight hat. We're going to go back in time here, okay? We're going to go back in time. So you don't know exactly when the top is. HEX is 20 cents. You go back in time, and you're listening to my words, and my words say, every single asset that is traded off human emotions is subject to human emotions. The euphoric parts are so euphoric that there's a story and a narrative that makes you think it's invincible. And the polar opposite is also true. There will be bad news, bad events, bad karma, bad luck, a series of attacks, you know, thorns in your side. All of this stuff will get thrown and it will make your asset test you. It will test you. And at the lows, doesn't look good, man. Doesn't happen like that. And look where we are now. We have SEC going after everyone, you know. So, everything just trades off human emotions. You got to remember that. This thing too will pass. I obviously don't know the outcome. Because me and you, we don't know if maybe people were paid under the table. Maybe it is one big giant scam. But, you know, I've checked over 500 HEX wallets. We know people who check, they scan every single, there's Excel sheets made, man, of every single wallet, every single person buying and selling, right? It's more transparent to us because we have edge. But that's why the price is 95% down. if people, let's get this ruler out. If people didn't know this, if people like were aware, it wouldn't be 95% down, man. It'd be with the rest of crypto, like 85%. So that kind of tells you, like, this is kind of like your margin of safety from here to 85% up here. Wow, you're like a 3x undervalued based on your margin of safety just because you really know what's going on. But this is why the greatest investors, that's why they're the greatest. Just imagine Warren Buffett sat through so many things like this, man. So many things. He sat through wars, so many 50% collapses, everything's dead, your company's trash, no one's ever going to buy your product again. He sat through so many of that, and he didn't care. He goes, yes, I have evaluated all the risks. I understand things are down now, but I'm here for 10 years, man. And this is your fundamental thesis. And my final message to you is, I don't know if this goes to zero. I don't know if this goes up. All I know is, in 4 years from now, crypto will be bigger as a whole than it is today. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I love you lots.